One of the defining aspects of the NBA is, of course, its rivalries. For years, the Celtics and the Lakers were the league's marquee matchup. More recently, Chicago and Detroit. Now, perhaps it's the Bulls and the Knicks. Their meeting in the conference final is one of the most anticipated playoff matchups in years. And there's been lots of trash talking, on the court and off.
That's football, not basketball.
You characterize this basketball team as a basketball team that's trying to get by on just dirty work, and that's very unfair.
When you have plow horses, you plow. When you got thoroughbreds, you run and you race.
I think the constant cry out for help is an insult to the effort and to the heart of our team.
I think the league really has to seriously look at this kind of play and wonder if this is the kind of basketball they want.
Last year, it was more than just an on-court battle. It was obviously a war of words as well. And this season it escalated when Phil Jackson said, I think they're too old. They've got Patrick, who's what, 30? They're players with a lot of habits, an accumulation of personal failure.
That's Phil Jackson's opinion. That shows what type of person he is. Instead of being a command and just coaching his team, he's worried about us, how old we are and what we do. And what, you know, if you're seriously confident like I am, then you just go in and play against the team. You don't have to give them insults and all kind of your verbal descriptions of them. You know, you just go in and play.
This is The Score, Sports Radio.
Mason and Starks are better boxers than basketball players.
The issue Jackson raised last May has continued to grow as the Knicks, at least in the eyes of some, are now perceived as the NBA's new bad boys. They lead the league in flagrant fouls.
You don't like to see players get hurt. As a professional, one for the other, you kind of like to take care of them. And so as a former player coach, now at this point where he's coaching, I think that he's got to be responsible for the level of which his team plays at.
He's also one of those coaches that does a great job in the press of trying to gain an edge, and you know, it's all in the eyes of the beholder.
I do think that there's a style there that fringes or comes right to the edge of jeopardizing and intimidation and bullying and all those kind of things. And there's a line between where it's a game in basketball and then it's something else.
I don't care if the Bulls respect us. I really don't care. I could care less. But when they denigrate your effort and your hard work and your commitment to doing things that you take great pride in by trying to get somebody to see it another way to get an edge, then that's the ultimate lack of respect.
Where's Aretha? I can't. Aretha Franklin running. They've been playing that tune for 9 months, that Respect tune. I mean, give us a break. Get a different song.
Michael Jordan has tossed a log or two on the fire, saying the Knicks have a lot of flaws.
We'll take our 46-10 flawed team over the last half of the season and live with that.
Do I hate him? Oh, yeah.
He is ripped by Starks. And that could be, yes, it is a flagrant foul.
You will be able to tell how far that hate goes by his play on the court. For as the flagrant foul that he made on me last season. Do he hate the Bulls or do he hate me?
Last year, with Xavier McDaniel setting the tone, the Knicks hammered Pippen. This year, Anthony Mason has drawn the assignment a good portion of the time, and the Knicks in 4 games have held him to 34% shooting. But just this week, Bulls assistant coach Jim Clemens said Mason can't stop Scottie Pippen. If they put Mason on Scottie and the referees legitimately call the game, it won't happen.
I don't think Scottie Pippen needs to have Jimmy Clemens begging anybody so he can get a performance.
That's his psych. That's what he has to use instead of getting on the court itself. He want to talk about the game. So Scottie Pippen got to check me like I got to check him. We'll see who gets to who.
Buckle up and put all the women and children out the room and get ready.
You know, at 3:30 on Sunday, you know, one of the officials is going to take that ball, and they're going to dip it, they're going to throw it in the air. There's going to be 5 guys in red and 5 guys in the white jerseys, and it's going to be decided by them at that time on the court. It ain't going to be decided by what anybody says right now.
He's exactly right. It won't be decided by what anybody says, but what they have said and done to this point has established a tone and set the stage, and it's why everybody anticipates this so much. What do you think?
Well, I picked the Knicks at the beginning of the playoffs. I'm going to stick with that. I think they've got that hunger of never having won anything. and they've got the ingredients, they've got the people who can satisfy that craving to take it by force. But Bob, you think by now I would have learned not to go against Michael Jordan.
You would think, but you're doing it nonetheless.
But I'm doing it nonetheless.
Bill?
The Knicks. They're the only team in this league that doesn't constantly stroke Michael Jordan and tell him what a great player he is and what a great team they have. You can't beat someone as good as Michael Jordan unless you dislike him. Plus, I think that in Starks, Oakley, Mason, and Ewing, they have the emotional type of player who can rise to the moment with this incredible excitement built around this series and dominate. The powerful front line will be the difference for the Knicks in this series.
I'm taking the Bulls. You got Michael Jordan, and I'll tell you what happens in this one. Michael Jordan can take this team down the stretch late. Patrick Ewing has to get somebody to get him the ball. Michael Jordan can take the game into his own hands, and I think that makes the difference.
And just in 10 seconds, as we say so long, you disliked Kareem then. You disliked Dr. J and the 76ers. Everybody the Trailblazers beat, you disliked them first, right?
Absolutely, Bob.
Folks, the wait is over. Game one of the Bulls and Knicks is coming up.